Yo, what is good, YouTube? Krishan checking back in with another video. In this video, we will be comparing the 6th place finisher from this year's Olympia, Samson Dauda, to the 4th place finisher, former Mr. Olympia, Brandon Curry. Now, personally, I agree with most of the placings from this year's Olympia, including this one, but going through my comments, some people believe that Samson Dauda should have placed as high as 4th over Brandon Curry and Big Ramy. So in this video, we are going to take a closer look at that. But before we get into that, I want to give a huge shout out to you guys. We just passed 6,000 subscribers on the channel, and at this time last year, we were only sitting at 600. But let's start this comparison off with the front double bicep. Now, when I first look at this shot, my eyes immediately go to Brandon Curry. The size of his lats in this front double is incredible. Now, Samson Dauda in comparison doesn't have much lat in this shot, and also has an imbalance. Brandon Curry also has an imbalance, but I think it's more noticeable with Samson Dauda. Now, once we take a look at the arms, I believe Brandon Curry is the shorter guy with the slightly better arms. Looking at the midsection, Samson Dauda is pulling a pretty good vacuum. Brandon Curry doesn't have much ab separation, but is not necessarily required in the front double bicep, and he does have a pretty good V-taper. Now, once we look at the legs and the calves, it can be no comparison. So how this comparison probably is going to go is probably going to be an upper body versus lower body competition. Overall, I like Brandon Curry in this front double bicep. Samson definitely has the legs, but I think he needs a little bit more lat and bicep to take on Brandon Curry. Now let's take a look at this front lat spread pose. Once again, my eyes immediately go to Brandon Curry. Now, something that happens pretty often with Samson Dauda, this guy can never keep oil on his physique. His skin just sucks it all up, and Samson always looks dry on stage, unfortunately. But taking a look at the upper bodies in this shot, I like Brandon Curry, chest, delts, arms. Brandon's midsection doesn't look the best in this shot, and it's probably because he came in very big to this year's Olympia. And once we look at the legs, it's Samson Dauda. Samson doesn't seem to be displaying much detail in the upper body in this shot. And if you guys have questions about my sizing, these guys stood side by side at the Mr. Olympia, so I sized them based on that. Overall, I'm going to go with Brandon Curry in this front lat spread. And let's take a look at the side chest pose. I believe my eyes are going to Brandon Curry first because he's a lot more shiny. He has on oil. And I like how we can see some ab separation from Brandon in this side chest shot. But this is the side chest and not the side ab. Samson is definitely winning in the chest department. Overall, I'm slightly leaning towards Brandon Curry in the upper body just by a hair, even though Samson Dauda has the best chest. But I mean, we could give him the edge because it is the side chest. Going to the lower body, much of the same story. Samson has the bigger legs, slightly more separation, but it seems like Brandon Curry is creating more of an illusion with the hamstring drop. But overall, I think I would have to go with Brandon Curry in this shot. He just has too much polish for Samson Dauda. The Samson Dauda fans are going to kill me in the comment section. But let's go into the back shots. Let's see what type of condition these guys are in. And looking at this back double bicep pose, Brandon shows more detail in the glutes, but Samson shows more detail pretty much everywhere else. Now, if we go back for back, it's honestly not much of a comparison. I mean, Samson has more detail, but Brandon has more lat width, more back thickness, and he's also taking Samson Dauda to school in the delt department. Now, once we look at the lower body, Samson is taking Brandon to school in the legs. Take a look at the size difference. And I would say that Samson definitely has more detail in the hamstrings. Brandon has more detail in the glutes. Samson glutes are a little bit bigger. I believe Brandon could use a little bit more glute. But overall, I'm going to lean towards Brandon Curry once again. And so far from this comparison, it seems like Samson Dauda has more detail than Curry in certain parts of the body. But I would say that Curry is slightly more conditioned. If Samson was a touch tighter, his chances of beating Brandon Curry in the past shots would be a lot higher. But let's take a look at this rear lat spread. Now, Samson Dauda does have the better back, but overall, he looks softer than Brandon Curry. He has slight striations on the glutes. But let me know in the comment section below, honestly, guys, in this rear lat spread, does this look like Olympia level conditioning? But overall, I do think I would side with Samson Dauda. Outside of the striations in the glutes, he's outsizing Brandon pretty bad here. Now let's take a look at the side tricep pose. Take a look at the massive chest of Samson Dauda. And I like how Brandon Curry is displaying a lot of ab separation in this shot. Now overall, Samson Dauda is a lot bigger than Brandon in this shot. But to me personally, guys, Samson looks about 6 weeks out. But just to be fair, Brandon Curry does look about 3 weeks out. Overall, I think Brandon Curry has more polish. I think he's executing the pose a little bit better. But Samson is just so big. You guys let me know in the comment section below. Do you lean towards Brandon Curry a little bit smaller, better condition, more polished, or the bigger guy that's less conditioned? Now let's go into the ab and thigh shot. We don't have pictures. We actually have a video courtesy of Milo Sarchev. And I'm leaning towards Brandon Curry in the overhead ab shot. He has bigger lats, better abs. And Samson would definitely be winning in the thighs if we seen this at a better angle. But as far as this side shot, I have to go with Samson Dauda. This oblique shot is definitely one of his best. And from looking at the pictures in this video from the comparison, I have to say that Curry looks significantly better in picture and video than he did on the live stream, and probably looked even better in person. Now let's wrap up this comparison here with the most muscular shot. And I mean, guys, do we really have to break this down? I'm going to go with Brandon Curry. The upper body is just cartoonish. Samson Dauda is winning in the leg department as usual, but I believe Brandon Curry is just too much for him. Overall, from this comparison, I believe Samson Dauda should have came in a touch sharper, and it's possible he could have made it to that 4th place position. If we compare the physique of Samson Dauda from the Arnold Classic to this year's Olympia, he was significantly softer, in my personal opinion. But as always, I hope you guys did indeed enjoy this video. All the Samson Dauda fans, don't destroy me too much. I'm Krishan from Go Fitness, and that's it. I'm out.